I was so annoyed at this because, like, this is just, like, obviously TERF type. Genuine question, it's not a genuine question. Do the trans, already red flag, not think about how disrespectful it is to try and put a makeup and a wig on and think that they are a woman? You're basically mocking what women had to go through. And I'm surprised feminists don't speak up against this kind of stuff. Women are more than just a wig and makeup. It's like putting on blackface and thinking that you're black. Yeah, woman face. We love that part. Being a woman isn't about gender stereotypes and the clothes that you wear, etc. don't determine your gender identity. We don't do things that affirm our gender identity and think that the thing that we're doing in order to affirm the gender identity is what makes us that gender identity. It's just something that affirms our gender identity and that helps us with expressing ourselves as that gender identity. Girl moding, now woman facing, yeah. No, don't try and gaslight. If it isn't about gender stereotypes, when people try and transition from man to woman, why is it that your first thought is to get long nails and hair and put on makeup? That in itself is a gender stereotype, isn't it? So in reality, the trans are the ones to blame for gender stereotypes. I don't get that part. If trans women adhere to gender stereotypes, why are they to blame for gender stereotypes? And like, I don't understand how people can't understand that we don't think that we are women just because we do things that are stereotypically considered for women, but that we just do things that align with our gender identity because it affirms our gender identity because we are that gender identity. I can be a woman and I can just not do anything. I have identified with the label woman before transitioning, like before doing anything. I don't understand why people are so obsessed with using gender stereotypes in order to invalidate trans women and invalidate like gender identity as a whole. So I was like, oh, that's not my first thought. So they were like, so let's be honest, you've never tried to act girly, wear makeup, wear a wig, or use medicine to grow your hair and style it as a woman would? If not, then what's the point of the trans part? Why not just be gay? I don't get it. It's like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, I wear makeup. It helps me pass more. It helps me blend in with society, with like society's expectations of what women have to look like in order to be seen as women. You know, just because you have like long hair, that doesn't determine your gender identity, and people are not growing out their hair and then they're like, oh well, now I have long hair, so now I'm a woman. But it's like, oh, you know, I want to have long hair, and that is like considered to be something feminine in our society, so it affirms my gender identity of doing that. Like, that's literally why cis women wear makeup. That's why cis women have long hair. Like, granted, not all cis women do. Like, masculine, butch lesbian, tomboys all exist, and they're still women. They still identify with the label women. But I don't understand why people like hold trans women to these like weird standards where it's like, oh, you have to fulfill these gender stereotypes because otherwise you're not fulfilling the gender roles and gender norms and beauty expectations forced upon you by society. So you're actually not putting in enough effort in order to pass as a woman. But on the other hand, if you do these things, then you're mocking womanhood because you think that by doing these things, that's why you're a woman. Like, I don't understand this. And then it's like, why not just be gay? So I was like, I'm a woman, not a man. I'm not a gay man. I am a really gay woman. But like, I'm literally just a woman. My sexual orientation has nothing to do with it. Like, you equate being gay with femininity, and you want to say like, why are you not just like a femboy? Basically, that's what you're trying to say. But like, I don't identify with the label femboy because I don't identify with the label boy, you know, in that sense. I'm not a feminine boy. I'm not even that feminine. I like to wear skirts. I like to have long nails. I like to grow my hair out. I like to wear makeup and try around with that. I like to wear dresses. But like, I also just wear leggings and a hoodie. I'm more of a tomboy than a femboy. I just don't get why people always hold trans women to like these weird expectations, and then when we fulfill these expectations and we try to fit in and we try to like pass as women and we try to make it so easy for cis people to like gender us correctly, and then that is apparently like a mocking womanhood. That is somehow something like offensive. And it's like, you're not offended when like a cis girl wants to wear makeup. Why are you offended when a trans girl does it too, to affirm their gender identity? If a cis girl gets their breasts enlarged in order to I don't know, affirm their gender identity, affirm their gender, that is like good. But if a trans girl gets top surgery, then you're like, oh, this is mutilation and mocking women, and you're distracted. Like, I don't understand. Like, what do you want us to do? And the reality of the situation, you just want to use misogyny that you weaponize against cis women, publicly shame us in order to invalidate our struggles and shove us back into the closet. No matter what you're doing, like even as a cis woman, you will have people who tell you that you're not doing it right. They want you to be a traditional wife, to be a stay-at-home mom. Then you're a stay-at-home mom and your husband works, and then you're a gold digger because you're not having a career on the side. But then you want to have like a career on the side, and then they think that you are competing with the husband, like emasculating the husband because you're earning money. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. People will always like find a reason to invalidate you. It's just way more blatant when it comes to trans people. A lot of times people treat trans women publicly like they treat cis women privately. Hey everyone, Editing Yara here. I just wanted to give you a big thank you for helping me reach 10,000 subscribers. I do have my AMA stream on the 31st, for which you can use the Google form to ask me questions, the link to which is in the description. I hope you're going to enjoy the rest of the video, and maybe I'm going to see you in my Twitch stream. Bye-bye. So am I supposed to fulfill gender stereotypes to earn the label woman, or am I supposed to completely oppose them? It's like, are you trolling? Lol, your title literally says as a trans VTuber. Are you a woman transitioning to a man, or a man transitioning to a woman? It's like, how is that trolling? I'm a woman, I'm trans, connect the dots. Okay, cool, transgender woman, just a woman. My question was, be honest, have you ever tried to wear makeup or wear a wig and or act girly? I don't really care if you did, it's just for the sake of the argument. What argument? So I was like, are trans women not allowed to wear makeup? I'm confused, you shame us for fulfilling gender stereotypes, and when I tell you that there's more than that, and we don't adhere to gender stereotypes, you invalidate my womanhood. I'm so confused by all of this. I literally don't get what is like happening. It's so confusing. Like, what do you want me to do? YouTube comments are the worst. Yeah, I don't understand what the point is. It's like, if I do something because I want to do it and it affirms my gender identity and it makes me feel good, why am I not allowed to do it when other people of that gender identity are able to do that just fine? Like, this invalidation, etc., is like so exhausting, and TERFs do that all the time. How dare you do feminine things? It's an attack on a woman's identity. Also, how dare you not do feminine things and you're a woman? Yeah, exactly. You don't do feminine things, why are you not just a gay man? If you don't do feminine things, why are you not just a feminine boy? Also, like, the trans is already, you know, big red flag, and like the trans community is a huge umbrella term for a lot of people. Trans men exist. We are literally just people. We have a gender identity. We express our gender identity, and like what we do in order to feel good about ourselves is not like there to mock anyone. It's not to reduce womanhood to these stereotypes. It's literally just like, imagine you go up to a woman and you're like, oh, you are wearing a dress. That means you think that all women are supposed to wear dresses. I don't understand that logic. Like, logically speaking, I don't get that. But if a trans woman wears a dress, then apparently, like, they're mocking womanhood because they're reducing womanhood to wearing a dress. And you assume that they think that by wearing a dress, that means they are a woman. Now come with logic to a knife fight. We get it that people want to walk up to women and shame them. Oh yeah. Cis people confuse me. Like they don't even want to listen to what you have to say because they are literally so stuck in their feelings of hatred that they don't want to get out of it, and it's just trying to find like any slight excuse in order to invalidate you as a person, and to have the audacity to compare a trans woman expressing their gender identity to blackface. That is insane. Transphobia is like really confusing to me because the thing is like it is not based in reality. This is like why sometimes I just don't bother with like showing facts. Like I just talk about topics, and I know that there are like people who are just like, oh, what is the source? What is the source? But they don't really care about the source. They just want like an excuse in order to like dismiss what you're saying. Like they are not providing any evidence because their opinion isn't evidence-based. I can find the sources that I used in order to form my opinion, but like a lot of people are always like, oh, you should find the sources. You make these claims and they're like, they don't mean anything because you're not using common sense and you're not even showing the sources. It's just that even if I show them the source, they're not going to acknowledge that they are wrong. They're just jumping on the first thing in order to invalidate it. It's like you show them the source and then it's like, oh, this is just an article. And it's like, this is an article about a study. Here's the study to that article. And it's like, oh, that study has gender in the URL, so that's why it can be dismissed. Like, they just like find excuses to like invalidate what you're saying. So that's kind of why I gave up on trying to convince people using studies and stuff. I'm not going to talk to people whose opinion, whose minds can't be changed. I'm talking to people who are either in the community or they're like neutral to it. They're curious about it, or like they're just interested in hearing my experiences, my stories, etc. But like if I have to back up anything that I say with like studies, despite it being my lived experience, it would be like so exhausting to me. There's gender in the URL. What do you mean? Why is that not valid then? Yeah, I had people invalidate resources that I showed them because it was from Gender GP. That's why they dismissed it. They have to invalidate it so they don't have to think critically. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't really like bother. It's just like such an easy excuse to invalidate things, but all they are doing is just using source. Trust me, bro, they make shit up all the time. And it's like, why do I need like 500 different studies that back up my claim just for you to dismiss it? It's just there to like waste your time because they know they're not going to change their mind anyway because they're going to continue to hate. But while you are looking for like 150 different studies to make your point, they just go, nuh-uh. And it's so difficult to change someone's mind if they are like random people because there's like no authority, there's like no trust between you two. Every time you have like an argument, like a good argument, they're going to find an excuse to invalidate it, and most of the times their reason for you to invalidate it is because the scientists are woke, it's because you are woke, it's because you're trans and you are all deviants and lie all the time. You pretend to be women so you can't be trusted. It's so difficult to like go to the root cause of these problems and then just like try to fix it as just like a stranger. Like this is also not something that can be solved through like a comment section. These people literally are stuck and addicted to their echo chambers. They are consumed by this transphobia. It's like that's all they're talking about, that's all they are seeing, that's all you know, their friends are talking about. They are so obsessed and invested in it. It's just impossible to get them out. Hold my hand, mommy, I can't read the study. Yeah, they're not going to read it anyway. They are not even reading their own source material. Did you see like some guy's lawyer, like the what is it, Pete Hegseth, showing like studies to prove that trans women aren't, or like trans people aren't fit to serve in the military, and the studies prove the opposite because the lawyers didn't read the studies. It literally proves that if you give trans people gender affirming care, they're happier. It's just exhausting, and it feels like you're screaming into the void or like against the wall, and it just like doesn't matter how you phrase something, it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter matter how many facts you have to back it up. Doesn't matter how deep you go in order to like debunk it. These people are always going to find a way in order to invalidate it because they're just like so trapped. My friend group got split up because one found the trans women sports debate and it was said multiple times we should listen to real women. These people who are like, we should listen to the real women actually never care about the opinion of cis women unless it supports their bigotry. That is why they boost TERFs so much. That is why they invalidate cis women who are allies. Because they're like, if you support trans women, you're probably trans yourself. Love to bring up J.K. Rowling and the tweets. Yeah, that's what they do. They're boosting people who are like in the LGBT part of the community who are anti-trans. And they're like, the LGBT people are already fed up with your trans nonsense. Nobody had an issue with the LGBT part until you freaks came along. Would that disqualify someone's idea if they're in the affected group of a person? It's just like invalidating people. Like most cis women support trans women because they know that we're going through like similar things. It's literally just like upholding the idea that these loud TERFs that are being boosted are speaking for all women. And they are literally just like siding with the abusers. They're siding with the oppressors. Literally cried and ran away. It sucks because like, you know you're right, but these people just don't want to listen to you. So it's like what are you going to do, you know?